keep it real with ya.
Hey everybody, it's me, Minu, back with another video. So I wasn't even gonna make this video. I literally was about to edit another part of another video. But somebody had asked me about this in the comments, so I figured that I would, that I would address it. And so I watched the Jaiden Animations video on being not straight. I noticed that Hasanabi also reacted to it, but I wanted to just get my reaction out of there before I actually like watched what he had to say, because he's like a cis het technically white guy, so obviously he's gonna have a very different opinions on this topic. Hey Sadie, hey baby, come and say hey. So Morticia's not in here with me because she decided that she doesn't want to be, so only Sadie is in here. I just need her to sit down. Can you sit down? Can you sit down? I love you too, but can you sit down? Yes. Yes, boogers, but we're gonna deal with that later. Okay, sit. No, Sadie, sit. Sit down, Sadie. Sadie, sit. Good girl. Yeah, I'll give you some pets. I love it when she sits, when I tell her to sit. That makes me happy. Okay, so I'm just chilling. Got my Tomie shirt on, and I took a lot of notes. For the first thing I will say about the video is that I don't think I've watched a Jaiden Animations video. The animation is really, really good. Really good. I wish that I could draw, period. let alone actually being able to like animate stuff. Like I would love to animate some of the stories that I tell. Like that would be awesome. So first comment I would say, she didn't talk that much about asexuality, which was kind of disappointing. And I get that it can be a very personal thing, and so she didn't really want to give you like a lot of personal details, but the way she spoke about it so generally and vague, it just kind of made it seem like we don't really know what asexuality is, which is kind of frustrating, which is why when I'm speaking about it, I try to be as detailed as possible. I try to give you metaphors, similes, whatever the fuck you want to kind of help you understand, like, this is what this is. And so her taking that general approach, I don't think is doing a lot of kindness for asexuality, because if I didn't know anything about it, just watching it, I'd probably be like, what is that? Must be nothing, because you didn't really explain anything. So it's like, and I feel like too, if you don't want to talk about your specific experience with something, but you do want to like explain about it, I still feel like there are details you could get into that don't require you being like, oh, like using the word intimate. I don't like using the word intimate because people often confuse sex with intimacy. Like they have to be the same thing. And you can't have intimacy without sex. So saying that asexuality is when you don't feel intimate attraction, I don't like calling it that, because you're conflating intimacy with sex, which is now is palpable to people who aren't asexual, who believe that that is what that is. They will get what you mean, but it's not helpful for asexuals when they want a form of intimacy that is non-sexual, for the person that they're messing around with to be like, okay, but this, you being asexual means that you don't experience intimate attraction. Like that, it's confusing. It's confusing and it's vague. And I wish she had gone into more detail or more examples about it the way she did AroMantic, but she didn't. So I'm kind of worried how Hassan is going to respond to it in the video that he makes responding to it. I haven't watched it because I don't want him like influencing my thoughts on it, but I've seen him before say things about like how sex is amazing, blah blah blah. Sorry, ace people, but sex is da 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 da. Like, so I've seen him say stuff like that, which is, you expect that from a cis het man, but I think in order for someone like him to be educated about it, you need more detail, more personal experience, because aromanticism and asexuality are so foreign to cishet people, to the majority of people. You cannot just throw it out there and be like, it means this, but it can also mean a bunch of other things, and I'm not going to tell you what all those other things mean. It's like a million different things that it can mean, because asexuality is an umbrella and a spectrum and da 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 da. And you really didn't tell me anything about asexuality. You just told me that it's some kind of catch-all term. And if you are not new to the channel, you know that I don't like using asexuality as a catch-all for anything that seems that it might not fit into something else. Like, it's not like you're in a box of sexuality and then everything outside that box is asexuality. That's not how that works. You know, asexuality is its own box, unfortunately. I know some people don't like to be put in boxes and they don't like labels, but it is what it is. It means you don't experience sexual attraction. That is a box. That is a label. It's not a vast ocean that you can just float around in when you feel like it. So that's what I want to say about the asexuality part. I wish she had done more, especially considering that the purpose of her video was to bring more representation to these orientations. It felt more like someone they identified much more with their aromantic side than the asexual side. And the asexual side felt kind of like an afterthought, versus the aromantic felt like that's like their dominant, feeling. Like, I feel very strongly about this. And then the other thing is kind of like, you know what I mean? So just gonna lean back a little bit. So I just wish she'd done more. Now, still a very good video. Still a very good video, I would say. But I just could have done more. That's how I feel about that. As far as the aromantic stuff, I took a lot of notes. All right, Sadie, I'm giving you your pets, but I need you to sit down. Sadie, no, leave my phone alone. Sadie, can you sit? Can you sit? Sit. Sadie. Okay. I love you too. I love you too. I love you too. Can we sit though? Okay. Is it like this? We can sit like this. This is fine. Anyways, so one thing I would say, I did make a video about why I don't claim aromanticism. Like, I don't claim to be aromantic. I think I had spoken with an ace friend who I think was like pan-romantic, bi-romantic, I can't remember. And I was like telling them, I was like, I don't know if I really fit in on this. And they were like, well, have you ever had a crush before? And I was like, yeah, I think I've had crushes before. And she was like, well, then you're not aromantic. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know what I mean? I was like, if that's the only thing, yeah, sure. But something that I thought was very, very interesting when I was watching Jaiden's video, if Sadie will stop. Okay. I love you too, Sadie. And you just sit down now. Can you sit? Can you let me talk into the microphone? Why are you looking at me like that? You tired? You want to go to sleep? But I won't stop talking? I understand. No. You have nothing to say to the camera. So, anyway, one of the things that Jaiden talked about was not knowing the difference between having a crush and having, basically, I guess would be a squish, somebody who you thought was really cool and wanted to be friends with. And I realized that that was really my experience, in the sense of, like, when I think back to people I had quote unquote crushes on, Sadie was really trying to make herself comfortable, quote unquote crushes on, they were people who I felt like, one, they stood out to me. They were different than other people. But two, we had a lot of shared interests. So I grew up, the nerdy black kid who liked rock music and horror movies and all of that stuff. And also anime. And if you like that stuff, you were, people would like suppress that for many years. It wasn't until high school that more and more people started talking about like anime. But even still, like the liking rock music and stuff like that, it was very, very weird. It was very different than other people. And so when I would meet someone who was another black kid who was like, oh, I like rock music, oh, I like horror movies or whatever, I'd be like, oh, great, this person should be my friend, yay. And stuff like that. And so I was not shy about saying that I liked a person, because for me it's like, yeah, I like you. Do I love you? No, I never said that. Do I want to get freaky with you? No, I never said that either. But I do like you. And so I would have those moments of like wanting to be that person's friend. And I was in situations where there was opportunity to like, quote unquote, date the person, or, you know, get frisky with the person. You know, you're in a dark auditorium sitting next to them. You have opportunity to do a lot of stuff. And to me, it was like so surprising that teachers didn't catch this, because I could catch it. I would catch it if I was a teacher. But you have a lot of opportunities to do these things, and I did not want to do them. I had actually, and I completely forgot about this until I was watching this video, that I it was a friend thing originally with me and this guy who I supposedly had a crush on, but everyone backed out except for me and him. So we still ended up going, and I was very, very uncomfortable. It was so weird, because I'm like, okay, I'm watching the movie with my friend. Why do I feel uncomfortable? And it's because that at the time, that was the dating thing, right? If you wanted to date and you were a teenager, you went to the movies or you went to someone's house and did other stuff you shouldn't have been doing. So it was like weird how me watching a movie with a friend became something so weird. And I'd had similar situation when I tried to go on a date with another guy, and it was like super awkward, super weird, very uncomfortable, hated it. Hated how he was trying to be all frisky and stuff with me. And I talk about this in my ABCs of Me New Asexuality videos of the experiences I had there. But I had another situation where I had a friend who, this is another friend who we had similar interest. And so I liked hanging out with that person. And I think that there was some romantic or even sexual tension. There was definitely sexual tension. They were sexually attracted to me. I realized that too late. But that was because when you live in a heteronormative society, the sexual attraction and romantic attraction are often tied together for a lot of people. So there was a time when I went out with this person and another person who is a mutual friend who ended up later dating them, and it felt like he was trying to do this thing of like, let me see which one of y'all I can get. You know what I mean? It was really, really weird. And he had put his arm on like the back of my seat, you know, because we were sitting next to each other in the movie theater. And I immediately like shot up and I was like, what? Why is your arm back there? What is happening? Why are you doing this? Am I supposed to get your arm off my seat? I didn't want to say it, but I was just like, this is uncomfortable. Now I'm sitting weird. Now my back hurts. Why is your arm on the back of my seat? And I didn't want to say move it, because I felt like maybe he was just being comfortable, but I was like, I'm very uncomfortable with the situation right now. I'm feeling some tension. It's making me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like it. And later on, realizing that person was sexually attracted to me, and even his later girlfriend was like mad at me because she thought that I wanted him. I was just very, very confused that I had missed apparently a lot of steps, and that everyone else was taking, I was missing. There was just gaps in my understanding of what the fuck was going on that other people seemed to just get like that. I remember being in middle school and recognizing that a guy was aesthetically attractive. And like, oh, he's a popular guy, he's aesthetically attractive, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, he cute or whatever. And everybody's like, oh, you think he's cute? We got to go tell him that you want to be with him. And I was like, I don't want to do nothing with him. He's a dick. But I can recognize that someone's cute while also thinking that they're a dick and not wanting to be their friend or date them. But people didn't understand that. And it was such a heteronormative thing. It's like, even growing up, my family was so hypersexual that you could be a kid, you could be like 6 or 4, and they would like try to pair you up with somebody else's little son, basically. Because I remember being really little and them being like, the boy across the street is your boyfriend. And I was like, what? No, ew, I don't want to do that. And then they did the same thing to my cousin of my age. And I was like, Neither one of us want to do that. We're like, what are you guys doing? And it's like, I never grew out of that mentality. Even as I got older, I never suddenly found that person to be attractive or wanting to get involved with that person. We weren't compatible. And it was, for me, there's another thing that Jaiden said that I identify with. It was so logical to me. And I'm a very analytical person. I did not understand the romantic, like that romantic attraction involved so much emotion. Like in my mind, are you compatible or not? I would see somebody and think, I am not compatible with this person. We don't have the same interests. We don't have the same values. I don't want to mess around with this person. I've had guys who tried to date me where I would look at them and say, okay, let's see. Well, you cheated on your last several girlfriends. So no, I don't think I want to give this a shot. You seem like somebody who doesn't value the people that you put that romantic label on. No, thank you. And then people are like, how could you reject him? Because everything that I just said, where are y'all not understanding what I'm saying here? From a logical perspective, I don't want to be with someone who casually cheats on their partners. I don't want to be casually cheated on. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, fine, I'll open myself up and be your girlfriend, and then you're like sleeping with other girls. Like I didn't want to do that. I also didn't want to sleep with you, but that's beside the point. I'm talking about romantic attraction here. It was one of those things too, where growing up in a very hypersexual, mostly woman family, a lot of the women in my family dated and married guys that they lived in the same neighborhood with. Like I had like 3 grandmas on the same street because that's just what they did. They didn't have a car, so they just went down the street and got pregnant by the dude down the street. And obviously all of those relationships failed miserably, not until after having a couple kids, of course, but they failed miserably, or they married someone who they were friends with in high school, because in a heteronormative society, if you are a woman and you are friends with a man, the automatic assumption is that you must marry that man. You can't be best friends with someone of the gender that you're attracted to. You have to be in a romantic relationship. You have to marry that person. And I always thought that was stupid. I was like, why can't you just have a best friend that's also a guy? Like, I felt so much tension when I had friends that were guys because I wanted to be their friends. And I didn't realize until later that they was trying to be more than friends. And it was very, very frustrating. Like my mom's worst relationship was with my dad. And the only reason they got together was because they were best friends in high school. And they thought that the natural progression of that was to be in a romantic relationship and get married and have kids. And it wasn't. It was an awful relationship, because being in a romantic relationship and being best friends with someone is different. There's different expectations. You know what I mean? So it's like, I saw it from the fact of like, maybe you guys were just great friends. And I've seen this happen with other people. Like they think that because they are good friends with someone, or they've been friends with someone for a long time, that they have to be in a romantic relationship. And I'm sitting here like, maybe you should just be friends. Like there's nothing wrong with being friends. Yep. Okay. Yes, ma'am. What you want? You want to give me headbutts? I love you too. You mad because I'm still talking while you trying to sleep? I know. Sadie's like, shut up so I can nap. I'm trying, baby. I got to get the video done. I got to finish my video. Ooh, say you about to slide off me now. Be careful. Anyway. So it just like didn't make any sense to me. And it was very, very frustrating that there was just this assumption that you cannot be ma'am, see what you do. She's trying to choke me. No. See, let me, Sadie, no. Ow. Why can't I make my video? Let me make my video, please. This is why my allergies acting up. You keep putting your booty in my face. Can you get off my chest? Ma'am. Ma'am. Stop smacking me with your tail. I need you to get down. You're not going, you will not silence me. You will not silence me, Sadie. Look at this girl face. Look at her. She's mad, like, shut up. Shut up. Ma'am, I need you to get off my chest. Stop smacking me with your tail. Stop. I'm not doing nothing to you. Come on, Sadie, down. Down, baby, down. Come on. Thank you, Jesus. All right. What was I saying? Yeah, I hate the idea that you cannot have a best friend that's a guy, like, or even have a close friend that's a guy. Like, it was very, very frustrating to me that people did not understand that. Like, I had one guy friend. I really wanted him to be a friend. But we didn't really have much in common, but we just, like, we got along. We seemed to vibe okay. There was something that was off, but I didn't realize what was off until much later. Unfortunately, he was this type of guy where he was like, you know, he was like the overweight, nerdy guy that was into anime and stuff. And not that he wasn't the conventionally attractive guy or conventionally popular like other guys that I had dealt with before. But I fucked with everybody. It didn't matter to me. And one of the things that frustrated me was that we had a teacher who kept trying to say that we were gonna get married. Like, she completely jumped. She jumped through the relationship, the date. She jumped everything. She's like, y'all gonna get married. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about, lady? And she was like, yeah, it's you always want to chase the good looking guys and the popular guys, but it be them nerdy big boys that y'all be overlooking. Them the ones that's marriage potential. That's the ones you end up marrying. I remember I never ma'am can you please sit down? Ma'am, I love you too, Sadie, but I need you to sit down. Thank you. But I was just like, she was like, yeah, I never thought that I would marry my husband. I wasn't attracted to him at all. But that's how it is. There's some ones that be marriage potential. And I was just like, first of all, lady, we found out later on she was cheating on her husband anyway. But that's not the point. The point is, I was not interested in this guy in any way past being his friend. And I started to get uncomfortable with him, not because of what the teacher said, but just because something about the vibe was off. And it wasn't until later that I realized the vibe was off because he was trying to sleep with me, which was very frustrating and upsetting because it's like, I can't be alone with nan nigga. Because every time I'm alone with one of these guys, they start touching and kissing and licking and all of this weird shit and biting you. And it just don't make no damn sense to me. And it's very frustrating because I'm just like, bruh, I thought we was going to watch anime. What is you doing? Why you showing me porn? I don't want to see this. Like, it just was so frustrating. And this is the same guy who later on when I came out as Ace was like, no, you're not. Why? Because you don't want me to be... What you want ain't got shit to do with what I am. And it was just very, very frustrating. I don't even talk to that guy no more. I have no intention of talking to that guy no more. He tried to talk to me for years. He was trying to like get back in touch with me. And I was just like, no, you were not a good friend. If you were even a friend, I don't know if you can call somebody who's secretly trying to get with you an actual friend or not. But this assumption that we couldn't be just friends. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with being friends, but there was this assumption that we couldn't just be friends. Like, there had to be some kind of natural progression into a romantic and sexual relationship that I did not want. And it was very, very frustrating. And it's not that part of me didn't fully believe that it was like all fake or that everyone was faking, but I did believe that there was a compulsory, I don't know what you call it. It's like heteronormative, but with romantic attraction. But it felt to me like people were kind of forced to enter romantic relationships. Like, if you were in middle school and you didn't have a boyfriend, people would look at you funny. Like, why do you not have a boyfriend? Now, for me, it's because I was a nerd and I was unpopular. But if I wasn't, people would be looking at me like that. Because there was plenty of guys that I like spoke to, that I had like surface level friendships with, guys that I would say hey to, guys that I hugged, when I saw them. I didn't see anything wrong with that. But I guess there was something wrong with that, maybe from their perspective, like that I was trying to get with them or something. I don't know. But it just didn't make any sense to me. And like I said, I'm a very logical person, so I look at things from a logical analytical compatibility score, basically, like math. And I don't even like math, but I look at it like math. And so when people would be in these relationships with people who they are not compatible with in any way, and then they have problems, my first response is, you're not compatible in any way, so break up. Like, why are you trying to make a romantic relationship happen with someone who does not share your interests, does not share your values, does not want the same things out of life that you want? Cut them off. And people would be like, no, like, I love him, I love her, blah, 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 blah. You don't understand the feelings that I have for this person. And I'd be like, what feelings are you talking about? Because the only thing I'm seeing right now is you feeling disrespected, you're feeling undervalued, underappreciated, you're feeling unloved, unliked, you're feeling like a burden on this person emotionally. What feeling am I missing here? And I'm missing the romantic feeling, I guess, where you want to kiss the person and what did I say? You want to wake up next to them and all of that stuff. Like, it just didn't make no sense to me. It just sounded ridiculous that you would put up with someone that you are not compatible with in order, just because you are romantically attracted to them. Like, I know people, and this is something I guess you just don't learn until you're really old. But like, my friend in her 60s, she divorced her husband real quick. And she was like, oh, I still love him. I'm sexually attracted to him. I'm romantically attracted to him. He's my best friend. But I do not want to be in a romantic relationship with this man. I do not want to be married with him because he doesn't know how to be married. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's perfectly fine. Sometimes you have feelings for somebody, but being in a relationship ain't the move. And that's okay. You're just not compatible relationship wise. And I don't understand why people don't understand that. And so it's like really, really weird for me to see people, and this happened a lot in my family, because the women in my family changed boyfriends like they changed tampons. You know what I mean? Like, it was always some new nigga. I'd be like, oh, you the new nigga for the week, because you ain't gonna be here next week. It's gonna be another dude. Or it'll be like, and they go hard too. Like, for a family where most of the women got divorced after their first marriage, even after their second marriage, it was really weird for me that the women in my family were chasing romantic connections so hard. Like, they were going all in on these romantic relationships. Like, I don't see why you meet a dude on Facebook and you want to bring him to church. That don't seem like the move for me. That seems like something where you about to set yourself up for failure. You know what I mean? Like, or you want to go on romantic dates and you don't want to talk to a guy if he doesn't want to give you a certain amount of money on a date. And like, all of these different like romantic dating conventions all just seem very frustrating for me. I was like, nigga, take me to Kroger and help me get on these groceries. Like, that's where my brain is. You know, go to IKEA with me, look at furniture, go to Walmart with me and buy cheap shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where my brain would go, is like a good date, you know. Cause like I go out to eat on my own. So like, what do I need you there for? You know what I mean? I don't need you to go. I don't think it's romantic to go out to eat with somebody. I go out to eat with myself. I go out to eat with my friends, my family. Like, why am I going out to eat with some dude as if this is going to be like the romantic thing to do? It doesn't code romance to me. And I don't think that there's anything. There's a weird guy walking around looking at people's windows. I don't think that there's anything romantic that I would want to engage in. Like, I just do not understand. And so when I'm thinking about the times in my life where I've had crushes, I wonder if those crushes were actual romantic feelings, or if they were like, I like this guy and I want to be his friend. Because whenever I didn't have a lot of crushes, but there was one time when I did, and the guy was like, oh, I like you too. It wasn't like we went on a date or we became boyfriend, girlfriend, or we did anything like that. We just kind of hung out, you know. And well, we couldn't do much hanging out outside of school, so we like hang out at school and like talk to each other. It was still friend shit, and that was all I really wanted. When I told the person I liked them, I wanted to be closer to them on that platonic level. I didn't want to be like, ooh, meet me under the stairs so we can kiss. I think kissing is gross. No shade to people who like kissing, but I personally think it's gross. And I don't understand why people would want to do it. I've watched the science videos. I get the pheromones and all that stuff. I don't want to do it. It seemed nasty to me. So it's like, it's weird because on one hand, it's like, I can say that I had the crushes, but were they really crushes, or were they like how Jaiden said in her video of like, you picked someone to have because you knew that you were supposed to have these things. So then you like picked your crush based off of that. Or you like had these like list of things that you wanted the person to meet, like a criteria. And then once they met that criteria, you were like, okay, this is a crush. When in reality, they were meeting a friendship criteria. So I thought that was very good. Had me thinking a lot. That was another thing that I wanted to bring up too, is I did this thing, and I talked about this in my asexuality video, where I didn't understand that porn was a sexual thing in the sense of like admitting to watching porn also implied that you were masturbating. So I was like, I would admit to watching porn because I was like, yeah, I watch porn, whatever. And I did not connect in my brain that was me telling people that I was sexually active, apparently. Like, even when I told like one of my guy friends in high school that I finally got on birth control, his first thing was like, you're having sex? And I was like, no. And I was very, very confused. And I was even at a party recently where I was saying stuff that apparently someone was reading into it, a lot of sexual innuendo. And I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. But I'm like, I legit do be watching porn sometimes to like get the story and be like, ooh, how does the foreign exchange student seduce the teacher? Like, what happens here? You know what I mean? Like, that it didn't click to me. Like, I was following, there was shows I was watching. There was like porn shows, and I was following them. I was like, damn, I gotta go find episode 1 so I can find out what's going on in episode 2. Why is only episode 2 on the site? Like, I was like literally into it, like just like any other shows that I would watch. Because in my mind, horror movies had sex in them. So how was it different from like these porn shows or these porn movies where they have a whole plot set up and then people have sex? Like, it did not click to me that was supposed to be a different thing. And so it did not click to me that by admitting that to my guy friends, I was making it seem as though I was sexually active or open to sex with them. And it was the same way with the whole like thing, right? Because for me, liking someone means you like someone. Like, that's all it means. It was like, whether you like them as a friend, you like them as a person, you like their outfit, you like their personality, whatever. So I was not shy about saying that I liked someone. And so when I had friends or guy friends that I liked, I was like, yeah, I like him. And they would try to tease me. They'd be like, ooh, you like so? I'd be like, yeah, it's not a secret. He knows I like him. Like, what's the problem? And it wasn't until I later felt like that person kind of like drifting away from me and distancing themselves from me that I was like, what did I do? What did I do? And now thinking back on it, and like as an adult who understands these things more, they probably felt that by me saying that I liked them, that there was some kind of expectation that we were gonna like date or kiss or hook up or whatever. Versus me just saying that I like somebody because we got a lot of shared interest and I think that they're really cool. And so it was upsetting for me a little bit because I'm like, damn, people was really out here misunderstanding me. And I think that that's why it's probably hard for people who I went to high school and middle school with to accept me being asexual, because it just didn't fit their idea of me based on the things that I was saying, because I had an understanding of these things that was very, very different than what everyone else's understandings were. So for me to come out as ace and then to be like, but you told us that you watched porn, but you take birth control, whatever. They're genuinely confused. And I'm not. I'm like, I don't know what any of that has to do with anything. You know what I mean? But it literally, like, it just dawned on me that this is something that people experience differently. Now, I will say the way that I am now in terms of relationships, I feel more like a QPR would be the best thing for me, because I've had some really good friendships, and I realized when I've been in really good friendships, really close friendships, best friendships, whatever, like I'm very satisfied by those relationships. There's no sex, there's no romance, but I'm very satisfied by those relationships. And it's upsetting when, you know, I kind of take a back seat to whatever their romantic relationship is, because I do want to be close to somebody, and I do want to be, you know, and I don't think of it as like a number one, number two type of thing, but I want to be important to that person in a way that they're important to me, even if there isn't that romantic or sexual aspect, even if I don't want to date them or marry them or have kids with them or anything like that. You know, I would still like somebody who maybe I could live with, different bedrooms, but that I could live with, that, you know, we get cats together, share finances, share our lives, travel together. Like, all of that stuff still sounds great. I don't feel like I should have to whore myself out to somebody and have sex with them in order to gain access to these experiences, when I can do that with somebody who I'm very, very close with in a more platonic way. So that's why I feel like queer platonic relationships are better. I am open to the idea of romantic relationships, provided that the person is not expecting sex from me. Because in the past, I might have been like, oh, you know, if I'm comfortable, da 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 da. Now I'm just like, nah. I know I'm not going to like it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to pretend that I'm going to do it in order to get the person to like me, and then have to have a conversation down the line that I don't really want to do it. I don't want to do all of that. I don't want to have sex with that person. But I will have a romantic relationship with someone if it could, you know, check those boxes of, you know, we can still be close to each other, and we can still like share our lives with each other and all that stuff. Just don't be expecting me to be all excited if you decide to do some grand romantic gesture in the middle of an Applebee's and present a ring. Like, I don't want, no, I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna walk out and make you pay for the appetizer. I'm not doing that. Because I always found like romance stuff to just be way too mushy. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I just feel like the traditional romantic relationships that I was taught about growing up, that was kind of seen as an expectation of growing up. Part of the reason why I even said in another video that I felt like behind and stuff is because, like, these people did it so easily. You know what I mean? Like, they just meet someone in high school, meet someone in college. Now they together. Now they married. Now they got kids. You know what I mean? It just didn't click to me as like, damn, y'all move fast. Whereas I'm still over here trying to figure out if I even want to fuck with all of that. You know what I mean? And so it's just kind of like, it does feel kind of weird. It does feel isolating sometimes. But the part of the reason why I don't claim to be a romantic, even if I feel like I might have a lot of those experiences, is because of the fact that I do have a lot of trauma, and I come from very dysfunctional relationships. I do have attachment issues, in the sense that I'm not quick to trust people with my, you know, and it's a weird thing where it's like, you can be vulnerable with complete strangers, but the second you form a relationship with that person, I'm like, we're gonna slow down a little bit. Because growing up, what was modeled for me in terms of relationships was always incredibly toxic. It was always about being with someone who hurt you, as long as that person could provide for you financially, or being with someone who hurt you just because you wanted to be in a relationship or say that you were in a relationship. So for me, from my logical brain, even as a kid, I was like, I'm not going to do that. I want to be with someone because they make me happy, and I want to be around them, not because I feel like I have to have a relationship, like it's some kind of status symbol. You know, for me, if I go out to eat, I'm going out to eat. You know, I can go out to eat by myself. I don't need somebody to go out to eat with me. Like, if I sat around waiting on motherfuckers to go on trips with, or to go out to eat with, or go grocery shopping with, I never leave the fucking house. So I feel like I grew up with these very, very toxic ideas of what relationships look like, and it wasn't modeled to me what a secure attachment was, what a secure relationship was, what a healthy relationship was. And so it's hard to claim any type of romantic orientation in the absence of knowing what a healthy romantic relationship looks like. And so that's why I don't want to claim it until I understand. Like, for me, when I talk about people who may not really be asexual, it's like, okay, well, if your libido went up, would you suddenly be attracted to people? Then if the answer is yes, you're probably confusing libido with attraction. If your libido goes up and you're still not attracted to people, then yeah, you're ace. And so I can understand that, and I can like draw those lines and say like this is different from this and this and this. But when it comes to romantic orientation, I don't fully know, because I don't know what the healthy version of a romantic attachment or a romantic relationship looks like. And I need to dissect that in therapy. I need to do more work in therapy to make sure that, am I actually aromantic, or do I just have a lot of trauma that makes it hard for me to engage in these relationships? Do I have attachment injuries from my parents fucking up that make it hard for me to engage in a romantic relationship because I might be expecting it to be toxic from the beginning because of what I've experienced? Or I might just choose someone who's bad for me on purpose, not on purpose, subconsciously choose someone who is bad for me, just because it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I'm not trying to be about that. I'm not trying to put myself in situations where I'm going to be abused. And it's a weird thing because my therapist says, like, in order to know what love is, you must first be loved. And if you did not receive love growing up, if you did not know what love is, you can't love yourself because you don't know what that is. So it's a catch-22 of me not wanting to get in relationships that could potentially harm me and cause me more trauma. But also you kind of do need to put yourself out there in a way in relationships to understand what this shit is even supposed to look like in the first place. So it's a weird thing. And like I said in other videos, romantic orientation, romantic attraction is not the same as sexual attraction. Sexual attraction is like, you can't compromise on sex. I've said it before. You cannot compromise on sex. It's not something that you need to be compromising on. If you don't want to do it, don't have it. But when it comes to romantic stuff, if you want to compromise and enter a romantic relationship because you want to try it out and like see how it feels, you know, you want to get out there, get your toes wet, see what it's like. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with experimenting when it comes to romance, because that is not something that's automatically going to be traumatic. Like forcing yourself to sleep with someone when you don't want to, we all know how that's going to go. We all know that that's going to create trauma. You're going to hate yourself afterwards. It's going to be awful. But if you say, I'm going to go to a coffee shop with this person that I met on Tinder and we're going to talk and I'm going to see if I can get like a connection with them, the chances of that being traumatic are way, way, way lower. So I feel like that's something that you can play around with, you know, oh, they're going to take me to this romantic restaurant. I'm going to meet them at the romantic restaurant and there's going to be people everywhere. And the chances of something happening to me while I'm there is much, much lower than, you know, some people be like, I'll meet you at your house. Don't meet people at their house. So I definitely feel like it's something that you can play around with, that maybe when I'm in a better space where I'm not like all work and then therapy, which is really my life right now, work, therapy, making videos. I feel like once I get to a point where I'm not like that, maybe I'll try to date again and just see where it takes me. But it's something that I really, really want to make sure that I am mentally healthy and I understand what secure attachments look like before I try to have a relationship with someone. Because if you don't know what a healthy relationship is, trying to enter one you're just setting yourself up to fail, honestly. But yeah, that's all I want to say about the Jaiden Animations video and my thoughts that I had about the aromantic part, because most of the video is aromantic stuff. The asexual part was very, very vague, and asexuality needs more attention, and we need to talk about it, and we need to be very blunt and very specific when we're talking about it and very clear, so people don't confuse it for other things, or like, you know, take advantage of the fact that some people may not know what it is to use it in ways that it shouldn't be used. So more work to be done in that area. But as far as the aromantic stuff, this is why I don't speak too much on it. I do feel like I identify with a lot of it, but I won't claim it until I know for sure. And I think that it's okay to hold off on claiming a label until you know for sure that that's what your experience is. But some people also would like to just claim a label, pick it up, and then later put it down and whatever. That's fine too. But this is just my philosophy when it comes to labels. So thank you guys for listening. I hope that this has been a bit more illuminating in sense of how I feel and what my feelings are when it comes to romantic orientations, when it comes to aromanticism. If you care to hear more about my feelings and my experiences on stuff like this and stuff like mental health and stuff like asexuality, please subscribe, like the video, follow me on my Discord and Instagram, buy me a coffee on, coffee. I'll keep all the links in the description. I just keep putting the links in the description so you know what's up. But until I see you in the next video, I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. You're drinking your water, you're taking your naps, you're being kind to yourself, and you're giving yourself grace because you deserve it. And I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.